Good afternoon. Please do sit down. As the Vice-Chancellor of the University, it's my pleasure to welcome you to this afternoon's ceremony for the Department of Psychology and Sports Sciences. May I introduce the platform party and welcome on my immediate left Mr. Peter Stanbury, who will be elected a Fellow of the University of Hertfordshire. And on my far left, Mrs. Julie Newland, Pro-Vice-Chancellor, Business and International Development. On my right, Professor Soraya Dillon, Dean of the School of Life and Medical Sciences. And finally, at the table to my right, Mrs. Sharon Harrison Barker, Academic Registrar, who carries the University Mace. May I also, of course, at this time, welcome all of you, our graduates, their relatives and friends, to this afternoon's ceremony. We'll now proceed with the conferment of awards, and I have pleasure in calling upon Professor Soraya Dillon to read the citation for the election of a fellowship on Mr. Peter Stanbury.
Vice-Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, it is my pleasure to present for the award of a fellowship on Mr. Peter Stanbury. Our next recipient will be very familiar to anybody working or studying in the area of microbiology. As a co-author of a leading textbook in the arena of microbiological fermentation technology entitled The Principles of Fermentation Technology, Peter Stanbury enjoys global recognition for his contribution to the field of microbiology. Peter has enjoyed a long and fruitful relationship with the University of Hertfordshire, having joined Hatfield Polytechnic as a lecturer in microbiology in 1970. Over the years, he has held posts of Head of Microbiology, Head of Biochemistry and Microbiology, Associate Head of School of Life Sciences. He remained with us until his retirement in 2011, and over a period of more than 40 years in a distinguished career, he contributed significantly to the introduction, design and development of an impressive portfolio of undergraduate and postgraduate degree programs. His ability to focus on the important details without losing sight of the bigger picture have ensured the exceptional high quality of the university's degrees. They are recognised both internally and, more importantly, by external accreditation bodies. These degrees are still today forming the vast array of the undergraduate science programmes at this university. He was also exceptionally supportive to the team when the university established pharmacy in 2004. Peter appears to have a reputation of being a bit of a juggler. He is thought of fondly by his colleagues for his ability to carry out research while managing a full teaching load, and at the same time playing a key strategic role in the running of the department, and not least to mention the support to academic quality. He has successfully supervised 8 PhD students and a range of research degree students, and authored a significant number of high-quality, peer-reviewed scientific publications and conference presentations. But of course, his books is what he is renowned for. Peter's contribution to the reputation of the University of Hertfordshire does not end with our high-quality educational degrees. He has also established links with industry and with other academic bodies by acting as a consultant, an external examiner, or peer reviewer. He is exceptionally regarded in the community for his academic achievements. One of the links Peter established was with Kyushu University in Japan, following their request to translate his book into Japanese. Peter was then invited to visit the university, where he did a sabbatical in 1992. And as a result, a strong research collaboration between the two universities was born, and a number of our students were able to spend a year in Japan as part of their studies. And of course, if he wasn't busy over those years, Peter undertook additional roles of national importance in his field. He was convener of the fermentation group for 5 years and then treasurer of the Society of General Microbiology, now the Microbiology Society, for 7 years from 1998. This was a vital role during a crucial time of expansion for the Society, and one he carried out with his habitual efficiency and attention to detail. Peter has always held the belief that teaching was the most important part of his job, and for him it was one of the most enjoyable aspects. He has always put the students at the centre of everything he has done, and a characteristic that was clear to everyone who works with him, both his colleagues and his students. He is highly respected for his sound judgment, fairness, good humour, and most importantly, commitment to the quality of education provision for the students in his care. Colleagues say to us now he is still sorely missed since his retirement in 2011. However, retirement wasn't enough to keep him away from the university, and we are delighted that he has continued to work with us as a visiting lecturer, and that our students are able still to benefit from his vast knowledge, experience, and wisdom. Peter also continues to work, of course, on his books, and I understand the 3rd edition of his book has just been launched. Vice-Chancellor, in recognition of outstanding achievement, I ask you to elect, on behalf of the University of Hertfordshire, a fellowship upon Mr. Peter Stanbury.
I now call upon Mr. Stanbury to address the Assembly.
Vice-Chancellor, graduates, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, my heartfelt thanks to the University and all concerned for awarding me this fellowship. It's really a fantastic honour. It also gives me the opportunity, in fact, to thank someone else, that's Anne Austin and her team, who manage this incredible event. Not only Anne's support today, but in all the other ceremonies that I've been involved with. And for Anne to organise this group of academics, you're probably aware that organising academics is like herding cats, and she does an amazing job. Whatever I've contributed to the university is due to the support and encouragement of my family, my wife Leslie and her children John, David and Abigail, and also the exceptional people with whom I've worked at the University of Hertfordshire and its predecessor, the Hatfield Polytechnic, in a department of which I'm hugely proud. It's their efforts and intellectual input that enabled me to enjoy myself and have fun in various roles over the last 46 years. In fact, that is to the extent that when I received the letter from the university offering me the fellowship, in an envelope marked private and confidential, I thought they'd eventually caught up with me and sent me my P45. This ceremony isn't about the people on this platform, although it's a wonderful excuse for a fancy dress party. It's about those who are graduating and your families and friends who are not only supporting you here today, but have done so throughout your education. I've enjoyed every one of these ceremonies that I've attended. They are in fact parties. Every graduate is a guest of honour, and whose achievement and hard work then can be publicly celebrated. The most memorable honorary award I can recall in the time I've been at the university involved the graduation of the UK's first blind student in computer science, because her guide dog was awarded a certificate of attendance. And it was claimed that the dog had attended more lectures than she had. So in terms of the hierarchy of honorary awards which the university has made, he obviously is still the top dog. Today's a transition point, progressing from student to graduate, and you may find a difference, a change in people's perception of you. I overheard a conversation in the checkout queue at Tesco's in Hatfield, and one person said to another, he said, "Have you still got students living next door to you?" And the reply was, no, I've got 4 lovely young graduates. You'll also find a difference in attitude from bank managers. The transition from undergraduate to graduate is a momentous one. You're faced with life-changing choices. The only advice I can give is to enjoy what you do. Whatever you choose to do, gain satisfaction and have some fun out of it. Also, try and distinguish between your job and your career. Ambition and career development are obviously exceptionally important. But don't allow an obsession with them to interfere with the enjoyment of your job. We can't all be Alan Sugar's apprentice, thank God. And as you find yourselves responsible for others in the world of work, try to make their lives enjoyable as well. People who are happy, are productive, creative, and work for a common cause. You're all today graduating in science, and I'm going to end with a joke, originating from the former communist state of East Germany that compares science with other disciplines. East German jokes go on a bit, so if you just bear with me. Science is searching for a black cat in a black painted room at midnight with the lights off and the blinds drawn. Philosophy is searching for a black cat in a black painted room at midnight with the lights off and the blinds drawn when the cat isn't actually there. Politics is searching for a black cat in a black painted room at midnight with the lights off and the blinds drawn when the cat isn't actually there, but your search is accompanied by others calling out, "I found it! No, I found it!" I wish each of you well in the choices that you make, and that you then enjoy hugely your search for your black cat. Thank you.
Peter, thank you very much for that. We shall now receive the graduates of the Department of Psychology and Sports Science. The graduates are presented by a senior member of academic staff from their school. Awards, sponsorships and prizes that have been given in the final year of study will be read out prior to the graduate's name. I first call upon Dr. Shivani Sharma.
Department of Psychology and Sports Sciences, Doctor of Philosophy. Kiri Jeffries Sewell has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in recognition of a programme of work entitled An Exploration of Barriers and Facilitators to Risk Assessment in Mental Health Professionals. Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Kiri Jeffries Sewell.
Doctor of Philosophy. Hassan Khalil has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in recognition of a programme of work entitled The Role of Physical Activity During Personal Recovery at a Voluntary Sector Mental Health Organisation. Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Hassan Khalil.
Doctor of Philosophy. Nadine Cheryl Page has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in recognition of a programme of work entitled The Influence of Habits, Opportunities and Thoughts on Environmentally Sustainable Lifestyles. Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Nadine Cheryl Page.
Doctor of Philosophy. Jonathan David Reston has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in recognition of a programme of work entitled Self-Management, Psychological Correlates and Clinical Outcomes in People on Dialysis for End-Stage Renal Disease. Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Jonathan David Reston.
Doctor of Philosophy. Ashley Kendall Richardson has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in recognition of a programme of work entitled Biomechanics of the Golf Swing and Putting Stroke. First Chancellor, Dr. Ashley Kendall Richardson. Doctor of Philosophy. Sandra Barbara Van Os has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in recognition of a programme of work entitled A Mixed Method Study of Adherence to Prophylactic Treatments Among Young People with Haemophilia. First Chancellor, Dr. Sandra Barbara Van Os.
Doctor of Clinical Psychology. Isabel Charlotte Brunton has been awarded the degree of Doctorate of Clinical Psychology in recognition of a programme of work entitled From Hell to Utopia, How Clinical Psychologists Who Don't Believe in Free Will Experience Delivering Therapy. Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Isabel Charlotte Brunton. Doctor of Clinical Psychology. Kerry Rose Clark has been awarded the degree of Doctorate of Clinical Psychology in recognition of a programme of work entitled Parent Experience of Being Abused by Their Adolescent Children, an Interpretive Phenomenological Analysis, Study of Adolescent to Parent Violence and Abuse. Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Kerry Rose Clark.
Doctor of Clinical Psychology, Emma Catherine Dunn has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Clinical Psychology in recognition of a programme of work entitled A Repertory Grid Study Investigating Factors Associated with Treating People Diagnosed with Borderline Personality Disorder, BPD, the Construct of Illness and the Therapeutic Relationship. Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Emma Catherine Dunn.
Doctor of Clinical Psychology, Judy Eminalu-Strange has been awarded the degree of Doctorate of Clinical Psychology in recognition of a programme of work entitled Can Brief Mindfulness-Based Interventions Improve Attention in Individuals with Mixed Neurological Disorders? Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Judy Eminalu-Strange. Doctor of Clinical Psychology, Carly Victoria Keys has been awarded the degree of Doctorate of Clinical Psychology in recognition of a programme of work entitled How Young People Make Sense of Developing and Getting Help for Obsessive-Compulsive Disorder. Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Carly Victoria Keys. Doctor of Clinical Psychology, Ellen Alice Mackey has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Clinical Psychology in recognition of a programme of work entitled An Interpretive and Monological Analysis of the Experiences of Fathers of Adults Diagnosed with Asperger's Syndrome or High-Functioning Autism. Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Ellen Alice Mackey. Doctor of Clinical Psychology. Laura Major has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Clinical Psychology in recognition of a programme of work entitled The Experiences of Feeling Fat for Women with an Anorexia Nervosa Diagnosis and an Interpretive Phenomenological Analysis. Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Laura Major. Doctor of Clinical Psychology. Sowad Nasser has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Clinical Psychology in recognition of a programme of work entitled Adult Children of Problem Drinking Parents, Experiences of Relationships. Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Sowad Nasser. Doctor of Clinical Psychology. David Novelli has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Clinical Psychology in recognition of a programme of work entitled A Social Identity Understanding of Depression, Implications for Onset, Maintenance and Recovery. Vice-Chancellor, Dr. David Novelli. Doctor of Clinical Psychology. Catherine Marie Nutt has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Clinical Psychology in recognition of a programme of work entitled Clinical Psychologists' Narratives of Relatedness within a Multidisciplinary Team Context. Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Catherine Marie Nutt.
Doctor of Clinical Psychology. Rebecca Mary Ramsden has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Clinical Psychology in recognition of a programme of work entitled Narratives of Partners of Individuals Affected by Chronic Fatigue Syndrome, Myalgic Encephalomyelitis. Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Rebecca Mary Ramsden.
Doctor of Clinical Psychology, Keziban Sukri Salahedin has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Clinical Psychology in recognition of a programme of work entitled Accessing Mental Health Support. Where do young adults seek help and what barriers do they face? Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Keziban Sukri Salahedin.
Doctor of Clinical Psychology. Sarah Jane Shankar has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Clinical Psychology in recognition of a programme of work entitled Bereaved Parents' Stories of Their Emotional Relationship with Their Surviving Children Following the Death of Another. Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Sarah Jane Shankar.
Master of Science by Research. Lewis Simon Francott has been awarded the degree of Master of Science by Research in recognition of the programme of work entitled The Influence of High-Intensity Training on Cardiorespiratory Biomarkers, Aerobic Metabolism and Time Trial Performance in Recreationally Trained Individuals. Vice-Chancellor, Lewis Simon Francott.
Postgraduate Diploma in Contemporary Therapeutic Counselling, Heather Susan Brennan. Kyra Challen. Colin James Cramphorn. Sonia Mary Markey. Chantal Mary Rogers. Susan Mai Wall. Judy Wilson. Master of Science degree in Occupational Psychology, Farhana Zaman. Master of Science degree in Psychology with distinction, Janine Hawkins. Master of Science degree in Research Methods in Psychology, Andrew James Perry. Bachelor of Science degree in Psychology, Lamia Daud Abdul Rahman. Safiqul Alam. Daniel Asante. With first-class honours, Serkan Avlek. Bhavini Baichandi. With first-class honours and winner of the British Psychological Society Undergraduate Award, Sarah Jane Barrett. Abigail Rose Beestall. Laura Black. Nina Brady. Emma Burgess. Rebecca Canna. Kerry Ann Day. John Fallows. Katie Fenton. Emily Sarah Mary Francis. Simondeep Gill. Georgia Chanel Grant-Smith. Neera Nishit Gudka. Hannah Gully. Coral Guna. Ashem Gurung. Aminata Hakizimana. Natalie Victoria Ann Hall. Tulsi Hirani. Darren Robert David Howe. Hiba Jawad. Abigail Jeffs. Anna Teresa Geeman. Philippa Louise Julien. Aquilina Yorkshire. Sanya Kamwal. Munisa Khanum. Jade Francesca Kilby. Verity Joy Knight. Sonai Kuchukterzi. Matthew David Lavender. Katie Rebecca Maynard. Zara Mirali. William Paul Merrick. Saisha Mistry. With first class honours, Emily Madeline Nugent. Imran Allman. Oren James David Pearson. Stephen Percy. Rebecca Louise Pugh. Amar Singh Rial. Sham Sally. Stella Sandengu. Natasha Santangelo. Hiral Shah. Krishma Kaur Shari. Jane Simpandi. Emma Schoblom. With first class honours, Jodie Slevin. Bethany Smith. With first class honours and winner of a university prize, Bobby Lee Smith. Troy John Stencil. Ellie Victoria Turner. Amy Warren. Victoria Isabel Waterton. Emily Kate Willis. Philippa K. Wilson. Sirin Hazan Fatma Yavas. Bachelor of Science degree in Psychology with a year abroad with first class honours, Rebecca Elise Williams. Diploma of Higher Education in Psychology, Sonia Hussain.
Bachelor of Science degree in Sport and Exercise Science, Dimitri Anastasi. Ashley John Ashdown. With first class honours, Lauren Baker. David Alexander Bruce. James Cunningham. Nathan Shane Demetrius Franklin. With first class honours, Danielle Corrie Fortley. Ben James Geraghty. Dominique Imogen Gilbert. With first class honours, Chelsea Hallam. Sam David Hayball. Halden Hussain. Aaron Hines. Maximilian Richard Jiminson. With first class honours, Charles Edward Kay. With first class honours, Hannah Patricia Kentish. Alistair Kerr. Cameron Masters. Thomas Andrew Mackenzie. Jennifer Morris. Courtney Mosley. Ryan David New. Eleanor O'Driscoll. Georgia Rose Pullen Clark. Claudia Quinn. With first class honours, Shannon Ruffell. Andrea Santi. Daryl Smith. With first-class honours, Zoe Soteru. Lee Andrew Stafford. Lucy May Stevens. With first-class honours, Hannah Sydenham. Kishan Vagela. With first-class honours, Bethany Alexandra Molly Wade. Georgia Elizabeth Webber. Bachelor of Science degree in Sport and Exercise Science with a year abroad, with first-class honours, Adam Paul Barker. With first-class honours, Sarah Glassborough. Peter Marriott. With first-class honours, Frederick Petch. With first-class honours and winner of a university prize, Joel Landon Prouting. Bachelor of Science degree in Sports Rehabilitation Studies, Miles Witt. Bachelor of Science degree in Sports Studies, Stefano Antonio Atkinson Nelson. Hannah Benfield. Alistair Chaplin. Rory James Cochrane. Luis Angelo Kokomazzi. With first-class honours and winner of a university prize, Catherine Ann Cook. With first-class honours, Thomas Cove. Mark Scott Dass. Thomas Philip Davis. Andrew Donahoe. Joshua Alexander Evans. Philip Stanford Peter Evans. Samuel Ellis Ferrell. Andre Forrester. Liam Alexander Francis. Marcus Gann. Oliver Gann. Andrew James Goddard. Carl Godfrey. Metin Gursday. Benjamin Grant. Holly Hambleton. Matthew Ellis Hammond. Samuel Adrian Harding. Daniel Peter Humphrey. Levon Claudio de Souza. Billy Frederick Lewis. James Mayer. Alexandre Abbas Maki. Owen Malcolm. Darren Pearce. Connor Kane Pooley. John Ridge. Keith Riley. Matthew Rolls. Barish Sally Senturk. Dominic Orlando Shepherd Bancroft. Jamie Smith. Andrew James Sturgis. With first-class honours, Kira May Sullivan. Rory Sutty. Kamina Webber. Ben Wood. Jay Wood. James Woolmer Thompson. Bachelor of Science degree in Sports Studies with a year abroad, Christopher Samways. Bachelor of Science degree in Sports Therapy, Rachel Aldis. With first-class honours, Matthew Bennett. Sam Clark. Luke Anton Cox. Scott Dodman. Holly Fleetwood. Max Gary Gocher. With first-class honours, Lauren June Gollidge. With first-class honours, Joni Diana Goss. Rebecca Lydia Harpin. Jordan Harris. With first class honours, Tommy Hicks. Samuel Joseph Mannings. Stephanie May. Miles Mitchell Coop. Katie Margaret Alice O'Neill. Taylor Oram. With first class honours, Caitlin Rose Parish. Matthew James Pitt. With first class honours, Kota Saruk. Samuel Sequin. Adam Stanley. Beverly Nicole White. Bachelor of Science degree in Sports Therapy with a year abroad, Jeremiah Jagi Taki. The following award was achieved under the University Joint Honours Programme, Bachelor of Science degree, with first class honours, Shane Gazy. Ross James Travers. Hashim Kamran Fur.
That concludes the presentation of awards. I now have pleasure in calling upon Catherine Cook to address the Assembly on behalf of the graduates.
Vice-Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honour to have been given this opportunity to represent the graduates from the School of Life and Medical Sciences. Our time at the University of Hertfordshire will be one to remember, and every experience has been unique. For some, it will be the experience of moving away from home and living with different people. For others, it will be the many hours spent in the LRC. But one thing we've all got in common is that we are here today because of our achievement and our success in finally obtaining our degrees. Looking back to the first day of university, I remember feeling anxious about how much harder it would be to cope with the workload, but also feeling excited as this was the beginning of a new chapter in my life. And it still seems like that journey has only just begun. I was right to be anxious at the workload, because these 3,000-word essays were new to me. And on top of that, I had to learn how to reference, and more importantly, how to lay out a reference list, making sure that the date is in the brackets and in the right place, not forgetting the full stop afterwards. I think it's safe to say that none of us will ever forget how to do that. At times, it has also been challenging. When assignment deadlines all pile up, and you realise that there's not enough time in the day to get it all done, so you make that all-important decision to pull an all-nighter in the LRC and get it finished. But once it was handed in, there was that great feeling of being free, until the realisation hit that you had another assignment due in the following week. After the first year, it seemed to get easier to cope with, or maybe it was just those sighs of relief getting bigger. I know from experience that the greatest feeling of all was handing in our final year projects, after spending months on rewording and perfecting them, while still making sure that they was within the word count. But it's also right to be excited. We've all made new friends, had lots of fun, and for me, I've even stepped out of my comfort zone and challenged myself, like standing here in front of all of you today. Without the support from our families and friends, the university experience would have been completely different. And so I thank you all for being here throughout the last few years. I know my experience on my course, that we all supported each other where we could, encouraging one another to push on and get the work done. And without that support, we wouldn't be where we are today. I'd also like to thank our lecturers for their encouragement and commitment to our studies and for helping us to get this far. I know it must have been frustrating at times with the constant emails and knocks on the door, but by helping us, you have enabled us to push past the barriers and surpass expectations, so I thank you on behalf of all the graduates for allowing us to do this. I'd also like to congratulate Mr. Peter Stanbury for being awarded a fellowship of the University of Hertfordshire in recognition of his work in the field of biosciences at the University of Hertfordshire. This really is a great achievement. I'd like to congratulate all the graduates here. I know that for some of you, you're going to continue to study, doing PGCEs or master's degrees, whilst others are stepping out into the world of work. So I would like to wish you all the best of luck for the future. Finally, I'd like to say thank you to the Vice-Chancellor for receiving the graduates of the Department of Psychology and Sports Sciences, and well done to everyone here today. Thank you.
Catherine, thank you so much for those kind words. They really were warmly received, I can assure you. Can I be the very first to congratulate our new graduates? What a fantastic achievement. Perhaps you'd like to join with me in one further round of applause for such a great achievement. Perhaps I could also just commend you on some of the audience participation that we had as colleagues were walking across the stage. It was very impressive. Before letting our graduates go, if you'll allow me just a couple of minutes, I'd like to reinforce things which we've been trying as a university to instill in our graduates, some attributes that we hope our graduates will take with them, and also to talk a little bit about the values that we have as a university. The three attributes that I want to talk about, of course, are hugely important when you get a job. Now, some of the graduates who walked across the stage haven't yet got jobs, but I know, having spoken to them, they're all looking incredibly hard for jobs. And I'm very confident, given the success that we had last year with all our graduates getting jobs very quickly after graduation, that you will all very soon find a job. But when you do, can I ask, one of the attributes that you take with you from university, and Catherine commented on it a little bit, is to work hard. Please do work hard. Your employers will genuinely appreciate that extra work and going a little bit up beyond that which is expected of you. And I have no doubt that you'll be forgiven much if you do work hard in your job. The second attribute that I'd like you to take away is an attribute which we try and instill in all our students across the university, and that is of critical thinking, because that sort of critical thinking that universities instill in their graduates will help you solve problems for the employers that you work for, but it'll also help you solve problems for the communities that you end up working in, and of course for your own families, and hugely important to you throughout your life. And the last of the attributes that I want to talk about relates really to interpersonal skills. It's the ability to get on with other people, to work with other people in a constructive way. And I hope that the way you've been taught within this university, working in groups, working together in teams, will have helped you develop those interpersonal skills, hugely important to you. If you can go away with these three skills, these three attributes, I'm sure as graduates of this university, we can be incredibly proud of you. But we have, as a university, also got a set of values, things which we cherish as a university, and we hope that not only are they apparent across the university community, but they will also be taken out into society by our graduates. And the first of those values is friendship. We believe that as a university we should be friendly to the students who come to the university, instilling friendship across the community who work within the university. And can I suggest that being friendly will ultimately improve your happiness in life, something that we hold dear. The second of the attributes, of the values which I'd like you to take away, is the value of ambition. I would like you all, as graduates of our university, to be ambitious. Ambitious for yourselves and your career, ambitious for your families and for your communities, ambitious for the jobs and the workplaces that you have, and ambitious, of course, for our nation. So ambition. Now, I don't mean ambition in the sense of trampling over people, but nevertheless, a strong sense of purpose and ambition. And if that ambition for some of you results in searing wealth in the future, as I hope it will, I hope that then you remember the university and the good times that you've had here as students. The third of our values as a university, which we hold dear, is collegiality. We hope that we have demonstrated that as a university, that we do work together, all my colleagues behind me and those in front who have helped you today, but who help in every way across the university for the university to run smoothly. We hope that we demonstrate that collegiality. I hope that you will also demonstrate that in your workplace. Of course, it is all tied in with the interpersonal skills that I mentioned under attributes, but collegiality, hugely important for us and I believe for you. And then as a business-facing university, you would expect that one of our values is enterprise. And I hope that some of you who have graduated today will go out, start your own businesses, develop those businesses, and contribute in a really substantial way to the economy of the country. I think that's deeply important to the country, and I hope that if you do so, you will get personal satisfaction from so doing. And the last of the values which we have, and now I'm talking about the university community, is the value that we put in our students. We are 100% as a university focused on our students. And of course today is the culmination for those who were students, are now graduates of that focus. And I think it's a terrific day for you. I hope that you'll go away with your families and friends and supporters, celebrate this afternoon, this evening, relax, enjoy that celebration, try and remember everything that went on today. But you have been our students, you are now our graduates. We hope that you remember the university fondly. We shall certainly remember you fondly. And incidentally, colleagues behind me, they don't stop speaking to you the day you graduate. If you have concerns, if you have issues, please do use my colleagues. They're very willing to speak to graduates of the university throughout their lives, help and advise if they can do so. So I hope that as you leave the Abbey today, you can think about the attributes and you can think about the values of the university and take them with you. But the last thing that I'd like you to think about is the love and the friendship that your family and your supporters have given you during your time at university. I'm sure that the journey you've made, however difficult that might have been, has been made easier by that love and support. And I wonder if you might join with me now in thanking your families and the supporters who have come here today to watch you. Well, that concludes the formal part of the May I just remind you that refreshments await you in the Alban Arena. But could I ask you now if you would mind being upstanding as the academic procession leaves the Abbey?